So today we're going to talk about the GAT. First, why bother with the GAT? Second, the structure of the GAT. Then we'll look at some multiple choice strategies, particularly those around math, science and technology questions. So why bother with the GAT? Does the GAT even matter? Well, the GAT can be used to moderate your scores. This could be particularly important in 2020 with all the disruptions. Also, the GAT can be used to predict your scores on the exam if you're unable to do it for some unforeseen reason. Also, universities and other training places can look at your GAT score when deciding if they'll give you a place. And finally, preparing for completing the GAT will actually develop skills that will help you on your VCE exams. Reading the question, logical thinking, and time management. Actually, these things will help you in life. Well, as many of you probably already know, this is the structure of the GAT. You've got 10 minutes of reading time, 3 hours of writing time. There's 2 writing tasks, which take 30 minutes each, and there's 70 multiple choice questions. The estimated time you should take for that is 2 hours. Now I'll look in a bit more detail at the multiple choice questions. So as we said, there's 70 questions in 2 hours. 35 of them are math, science and technology questions, and 35 of them are arts, humanities. Now, they're structured in units, and the units aren't labelled for which type. So when you look at a unit, it doesn't say math, science, technology, or arts, humanities. It just says Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and so on. Now, timing your run is important in life, and it's also important on the GAT. So there's 70 questions in 2 hours. That means less than 2 minutes per question. It actually means 1 minute 42.9 seconds per question, on average. Some of them can be done in a shorter time than this, while others may take longer. You should try to do the ones that take less time first. Get maximum marks for your time. Now, if you're running out of time, you should try to make sensible guesses by eliminating clearly incorrect answers. If you can make your guess 1 out of 2 instead of 1 out of 4, you're more likely to guess it right? Also, you should remember that the questions aren't in order from the least to the most difficult. So you need to make sure you pace yourself and answer the questions you understand first. It might be that question 67 you can do, but question 5 you can't. So you can come back and answer questions you find more difficult once you've done all the ones that you fully understand. So the questions are grouped into units, as we've said, and this is one of the example units from a previous GAT. And you should read all the information and all the questions of the unit before answering. In fact, if you look at it really carefully, a lot of the information here in these first 2 paragraphs you don't even need to know. So what you really want to do is read the questions and then come back once you've read the questions and then read the information, looking for the information you need to answer the questions. Another good advantage of reading through the whole unit is sometimes information from a later question can help an earlier question. So this example from the GAT we used in practice, you can see the information in question 18, you could have actually used that to help answer question 17. So it really makes sense to read all the questions, and this is actually true for VCE exams as well. And this unit here involves Venn diagrams, and there's other math skills that you might be using in the MST GAT as well, like substitution into equations or interpreting graphs. Another thing you need to be careful of in the math, science, technology GAT in particular is there's complicated words and strange contexts. So as an example here, we've got the word accumulate, which is actually a word you don't even need to understand to answer the questions. Yeah, you just need to think logically, and the word itself actually doesn't matter. Sometimes the context you won't understand. You might not know about caracogens and things like that, but if you think logically and think through the process, you can do it. Similarly here, we've got in questions 54 to 56, we're dealing with time lapses. Now, you might not know anything about that, but actually this question was all about substituting numbers into equations. So don't get intimidated, just stay calm and think logically. Just relax and do your best, because that's the best that you can do.